This next feature that I'm going to show you probably has to be one of my favorite innovations in this 2208 release, and it is released under scope item 54A in the area of EHS, Environmental Health and Safety. Now, this new innovation allows you to create safety instructions for your equipment, meaning that you no longer need to have a separate directory repository of safety instructions for which you also maintain the revision levels outside of the system. You can now maintain those texts in SAP S/4HANA Cloud and generate the documentation directly from the system, including warning signals and symbols that are frequently used in the production of such safety instructions. So without further ado, let's see how this pans out in the system. So we'll go to the Workplace Safety tab. We'll go to the app called Manage Safety Instructions. And from here, we will go on to request the creation of a new safety instruction sheet. Now, the first thing the system is going to ask me is the factory, the area, if you like, where this safety instruction is going to apply. And I'm going to go ahead and pick my factory. And I'm going to pick production Bakersfield. The next thing is to obviously pick the equipment for which this safety instruction is going to be created. So I'm going to pick my assembly crane. And then the last piece of information that I need to indicate is the job family. So this is as in the professional task, if you like. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that it's a forklift driving job task. I click on create, and this is going to take me to the main creation screen of my safety instruction sheet. As you can see here, there are various tabs that allow me to maintain different kinds of texts that are appropriate and applicable when we are creating a safety instruction sheet, i.e. what are the safety measures that apply, what are the habits that I need to go through, what are the SOPs, the standard operation procedures that I need to apply to secure the area within which I'm going to be working, to make the environment around which I'm going to be working hazard-free or as hazard-free as possible. What are the precautions, the measures that need to be taken to make sure that maximum safety is obtained during the task that is going to be carried out. However, I should also indicate, in the event where a malfunction or an injury or some undesired event does happen, what should be the process, the procedure to follow, i.e. Shut down the equipment, call emergency services. At least I have this instruction sheet that tells me step by step what I need to do in the event of a particular event happening. So let's look at the top. We can see that the area of application is going to pertain to the equipment, and we can see that the description has been taken from the factory as well as the job family. So this directly tells me physically the building, the factory where this is applicable for, and what kind of a job this is applicable for. So typically we're going to make a distinction between, for example, here forklift driving versus drilling. The next thing that I need to indicate here are the hazards to the human health and the environment. Now I've got some dummy texts, if you like, that I've pre-prepared, so I'm just going to be putting them in here. And what you can see is that you do have some fairly rich formatting options where you can bullet point or number point. You can also indent the text that you are going to be including here. So I'm just going to pick my 2 lines that I've pasted, and I'm going to say that I want them to be bullet pointed. The other thing that you can also do, which I find incredibly helpful here, is the ability to add visual cues through these symbols that you can add to those safety sheets. So you can go through a list of a wide variety of symbols that are applicable for the header that we are looking at. So here we're going to say that obviously we have a general warning symbol that we want to include. We might also have some overhead obstacles, and the crushing of hands is also a possibility. The next thing is going to the protective measures and the rules of conduct. So again, here we're going to say that we want to, for example, barricade a no-go zone around the working area, and then we are going to have some additional text that we can simply type in, or we can copy paste from another system that we might have. So I'm going to here change the formatting, and I'm going to number these, and you can see that by simply typing return platform, the system understands that I'm in a numbered list, and he by default proposes the appropriate numbering, and so on and so on, but you get the gist of it. Again, you could have another set of symbols, which, as you will see, are different to the ones that we had in the previous section. So they are really focused on the particular area of text that we are adding to our instructions. So again, here I'm going to say, yep, we want some ear protection, we want some eye protection, a general action sign, and again, you can go through a very large list of symbols to enrich your instruction sheets. Again, you would go into the conduct in the event of a malfunction, and this could be advise the emergency team on call. So you can see you can also type your text, what to do in the event of an accident, and so on and so forth. So you would maintain all of these texts. Then once you've done, because what I'm going to also show you is that you could obviously create those instructions over the course of several days. So what you can also do is you can keep your draft, keep working on your draft, but you can also create the object, because you will have a additional step, which is to release it. So you have different choices here. So I'm going to say, yep, go ahead and create the object. So what this is going to do, it's going to give a number to my instructions. I'm just going to sort them, and this is my instruction sheet. Let's go back into it. And what is it telling us at this point? So it's telling us, importantly, that the status is in process. So as I said, I could simply go to edit, and I could keep on working on it until I was happy with the end result. At which point, what you could do is already here, you could generate a document that you might want to circulate amongst your colleagues that do not necessarily have access to the SAP S/4HANA Cloud system, or you just want to make sure that from a readability point of view, it's going to be perfect for the intended users that will be using it. Note as well the watermark that says that it is in process. So this is not a production-ready instruction sheet. You could download it. You could also print it. These are the standard PDF instructions, capabilities, independent of SAP S/4HANA Cloud. I'm going to close it. I've looked at my instruction sheet. I'm happy with it. I'm okay for it to be released and used by the personnel on the factory shop floor. So we are going to say we want to release this particular document. And here we have then the ability to assign to it a minor revision, i.e. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, or a major revision, 1.0, 2.0. So this is the first revision of this document. We're going to say it's a major revision, so it's going to be 1.0, and we release it. Again, we'll go back into it because the system has done a couple of things here. It's released it and saved it, obviously. And now we can go and generate the document. And this is the final version. So you see the watermark is no longer spread across the page that we have just produced. Again, you could print it, you could download it. And this is our instruction sheet. It is now ready to go. So you can have it by the equipment that is going to be used by an operator. So you'll have all of the information readily available for him to actually use. You could also, of course, as events do happen, revise these instruction sheets to make them up to date. So if we were going to create a new revision, you could simply say create a new revision, which again flips the process of it to in process. As before, you could keep editing it, working on it until you were happy with the updates that you had made to it, and once that was done, you could then release it. Again, you have the option of putting a minor or major revision depending on the complexity and scope of those additions to the instruction sheet. In this case, we'll say that it was a small change that was done, so we'll call it a minor revision. And if we now see our instruction sheet, we see the number of the revision is 1.1. So there you go, instruction sheets. Again, one of my favorite innovations in this 2208 release.